And today we are discussing about the values of love, truth, justice, equality, and fraternity in Buddhism and Baha'i faith. We know that Buddhism is one of the oldest religions in this world, and Baha'i faith is one of the recent faith in this world. And all religions have their own role to play to make human beings more humane. So ultimately, what we aim is to be more humane, because to be humane is to be holy. So we celebrate this Interfaith Harmony Week with three aims. United Nations organized this particular week for celebrating Interfaith Harmony Week with three aims. That is, Interfaith Week celebration to increase interfaith relationships. We have to build up a stronger relationship between our fraternal brothers and sisters with other religions. Then increase awareness of different and distinct faith communities and increase understanding between people of religious and non-religious beliefs. There are a lot of people who do not believe in any religion, but they have their own conviction in their life. So the believers and non-believers, and we all live in this world harmoniously. We have to live peacefully and harmoniously. So to live and let live, that is the sole aim of this celebration of different faith. So today we have a very good panel and very good guest to celebrate this wonderful day of Buddhism and Baha'i faith. I don't take much time of our speakers. Anyway, I'm really happy to welcome our chief guest. It's my pleasure and joy to welcome Mayor Tom Aditya, who is going to inaugurate this day's program. And we know that Mayor Tom Aditya is a British Indian community campaigner and management consultant, serving as the mayor of Bradley Stoke, Bristol in the United Kingdom. He is active champion of human rights and equality issues. He is also chairman of the Bristol Multi-Forum Faith. And Chavara Culture Center organizes this program in collaboration with Bristol Multi-Faith Forum and so many other organizations and colleges, including Gnosis, St. Stephen's College, Jesus and Mary College, Delhi, St. Xavier's College and Management of Technology Partners, Sacred College, Devra, Providence Women's College, Calicut, Christ College of Science and Management, Malur, and Vimla College, Trichur. And all these collaborations are led by Tom Aditya sir. And today he is here to inaugurate this session. And he will be well introduced while he is going to inaugurate just before that. So most welcome, Mayor Tom Aditya, Mayor of Bristol, Bradley Stoke, UK, to this wonderful evening.
Thank you. Thank you, Father.
And I would like to welcome Venerable Fra Pasura Danthamanu, who is one of our guests of honor today, who is representing Buddhism. He is the Chief International Relations Wat Phra Dhammakaya Temple, Bahrain. And he is a well-known person in this world, propagating and promoting Buddhism with his life and his deliberations. Most welcome, Venerable Fra Pasura Dandamano, to this wonderful evening. And I would like to welcome Most Venerable Bhikkhu Anand Bhante, the General Secretary of Mahabodhi Society, Bengaluru, and sister organizations. Chief Dhamma and Meditation Teacher at the Mahabodhi Meditation Center, Bangalore. Most welcome, Anand Bandeji. Anandji, your mobile has, I think, it's a topsy-turvy. Can you please keep it straight? Yeah. And that's now it's okay, perfectly all right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And we have a very special guest from UK, Mr. Nicholas J. Bridgewater, the youth representative of Baha'i faith. And he is a powerful youth, inspiring thousands. And he has a very cordial relationship with thousands of youth in the UK and all over the world. Most welcome, Mr. Nicholas Bridgewater, to this wonderful evening. And I would like to welcome our panelists. And today, our panels are formed from St. Xavier's College of Management and Technology, Patna, Bihar. Thanking you, our respected principal, Father Tommy Nishant S.J., a close associate of Chavara Culture Center, for organizing this program, the 7th-day program. And he has arranged for the teachers and students for this evening. Dr. Kalpana Kumari, convener, and today's moderator, Mr. Abhishek Anand, and our panelists, Kriti, Sam Matthew, Rajiv Prabhagar, Kritanjali Arya, Albia Rusvi, all are from the prestigious St. Xavier's College of Management and Technology, Patna. And most welcome to all of you, my dear friends, to this wonderful evening. And I would like to welcome to all the participants from different parts of the world, representing different religions, different organizations, NGOs, to attend this webinar and to join your hands to promote peace and harmony in this world by accepting and respecting and celebrating the other. As I have told almost every day, we need to have a strong faith in our own religion. We need to have a conviction in our own faith. If one has such a conviction in his own faith, only he can celebrate the other. He can dare to celebrate the other. If you have such a faith in our own religion, our own faith, why should we not celebrating others? I'm a Catholic priest. I believe in Christ as my God, and I have given my entire life for his mission. And I'm proud to say that I'm a Catholic priest. That's why I can say, I can celebrate my friends who believe in different faiths, because you are different. And you add color and texture to my life. So let us celebrate the differences. That celebrating differences means celebrating Bharat. And celebrating differences means celebrating humanity. We should come to that such a kind of understanding and support to all religions. And we need to live, and we need to allow everyone to live. Let live. So with these introductory words, I would like to conclude my welcome note. Thank you so much, my dear friends, to this wonderful evening. Over to Sharon.
Thank you, Father. Thank you for that heartwarming welcome. As the nation and the world over pays its homage to one of the nightingales of India, Srimati Lata Mangeshkar, fondly known as the Queen of Melodies, we at Chavra Cultural Center, Delhi, pay our respectful homage to the departed soul. As a cultural center promoting arts and music, we will now have a short video presentation in honor of Srimati Lata Mangeshkar. Om Shanti. May her soul rest in peace. I take pleasure in introducing our inaugural speaker, Councillor Tom Aditya, Mayor of Bristol Bradley Stroke, UK. Mayor Tom Aditya is a British Indian community campaigner and management consultant serving as the Mayor of Bradley Stroke, Bristol in the United Kingdom. He is an active champion of human rights and equality issues. He is also the chairman of the Bristol Multi-Faith Forum, an organization that works for intercultural and interfaith community cohesion, social harmony, and community well-being. Councillor Tom Aditya also serves as a member of the Bristol University Court and the Avon and Somerset Police Scrutiny Panel, which covers jurisdiction over the Bristol City and the nearby district of South Gloucestershire, North Somerset, Bath, and North East Somerset. He is the first person of Asian origin to be elected in South Gloucestershire County and the first South Indian elected on the Conservative Party ticket in the UK. We welcome you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, sir, you are.
Distinguished guests, Father Roby, thank you, Sharon. And it's a great pleasure to really come and being part of this World Interfaith Harmony Week. I'm much delighted. And I know as there's an August gathering right now, so I don't want to actually take too much of your time because I want to listen to the speakers because there are many venerables are attending. So I would like to listen to that. So I formally inaugurate this program to start with because we are seeing a wonderful program for the last 1 week, covering different religions, different cultures, and I'm seeing, and also I pray as it's today, you've very fondly remembered Lata Mangeshkarji, that is very apt. So I'll join together in expressing our homage and tributes. And also it's today is Father Albert, who actually initiated this Chawra Cultural Center. He actually passed away on this day a few years ago. So I pay homage to Father Albert as well. And today in Britain, today is the Ascension Day of Queen Elizabeth. So that is another important part. And we have friends from UK today, especially from Nicholas Bridgewater, will be joining from representing the Baha'i faith. I would like to listen to that. As you actually already mentioned, Bristol Multi-Faith Forum is actually very proud and happy to be part of this week-long celebration that's been happening with the Chawra Cultural Center. So I join together with all of you and expressing our respects to Father Roby. So I know that it's many of these people, we cannot do an applause because it's muted. We can actually put our thumbs up in our emotion so that joining with me for him for organizing as well as for the whole team. So I just request everyone in our meeting to actually put our thumbs up to join me to Father Roby. As you know, this webinar being conducted because it is his effort who put all these connections together, peoples together from different parts of the world. So, and to actually know to discuss the concept and contributions of major religion in the world, as well as the contribution of each religion in the field of art and music. So the concept of love, truth, justice, equality, and fraternity today that we are discussing in the Baha'i religion and the Buddhism, and also to the role of these religions in promoting peace and harmony. Because this one, as already Father mentioned in his welcome speech, we need to have that connection. We need to have that interfaith ethos. Then only we will be able to actually become a better human being. So that is what the cause for. So this being, we discussed Hinduism, Sikhism, Jainism, Zoroastrianism, also Judaism, Islam as well. So we will be covering Christianity and more in the next day. So I'm very glad to be here. So I know that the positive vibrations of this program, and so many people from different parts of the world are participating in it. So we've joined together for this with Center, the Chawra Culture Center, which provides and promote peace and harmony in the society through art and cultural interactions. So this cultural center, which is named after Saint Kyriakos Elias of Chawra, is a well-known social, educational, cultural, and social spiritual reformer of the 19th century. So I think it is his 150th death anniversary this year, and Vice President of India, Sri Venkaiah Naidu, also joined and inaugurated the celebrations. And I'm very happy that our famous missionary of social harmony and evangelist of social harmony, Father Robi Kanachara, is the director of this center, which makes it much more a very glorious center right now for these kind of deliberations. And as you all know, the Chawra Cultural Center celebrates all religious and cultural festivals like Diwali, Eid al-Fitr, month of Ramayana, Guru Nanak Jayanti, along with the Christmas and Easter, of course, and irrespective of religion, language, politics, aiming at promoting social integration, peace and harmony in the society. So, and it believes that the bonds that unites us are stronger than the barriers that separates us. And that is an important part which Bristol Multi-Faith Forum also shares. And we also profess that. We've been instituted in 2004 for interfaith and intercultural community. I'm talking about the Bristol Multi-Faith Forum. For interfaith and intercultural social harmony and community cohesion, and for the community well-being. The community well-being part, we actually do blood and organ donation campaign, there's mental illness campaign, social isolation, that kind of scenario, as well as we promote science and technology among youngsters. So we want to work together with the community. So we are here to celebrate our faith without losing ours. Okay, so we respect other people's faith, we have tolerance, because right now, as you know, the world is sometimes very selfish in those kind of things. We need to come out from that without hurting others. We need to uphold our faith. That's the theme and the course. And we need to appreciate our differences without giving up our uniqueness. So this is actually an important part. As you know, the World Interfaith Week was instituted by the World UN itself, UN General Assembly, way back in 2010. That was one of the mottos was to resist the forces of division that spread misunderstanding and mistrust among people of different religions, and to bring together the humanity in one. So we need to, this is actually all the states, I mean the governments, institutions, organizations have the duty right now to spread this message. And I applaud Chawra Kyriakos Elias, Chawra Cultural Center for celebrating the World Interfaith Harmony Week, because if you look at this year, it is regarding the COVID pandemic and how the spiritual faith and spiritual leadership to combat stigma and conflict during the pandemic recovery. So that is the topic. We've been part of the vaccination campaign here at Bristol Multi-Faith Forum, and different organizations have been contributing towards that. So without taking much, I would like to actually also greet all the speakers. Okay, today we have a wonderful panel, so I greet all of them. I know that we are going to listen, and also all the partner organizations, all the education institutions, colleges, Father mentioned earlier. So greet all of them, as well as all the panelists who've been participating in the panels earlier this week. So they are all contributing towards that, and all the people who've been participating in this webinar throughout this week. So I greet everyone, and I hope it'll be a wonderful gathering, and so that we can take this message, we can spread this message, and to have a good week ahead. And the year ahead. So that's what I'm thinking of. So we should celebrate this part of goodwill and this message of interfaith harmony and goodwill in the world. Churches, mosques, synagogues, temples, another place of worship during this week. That is actually the purpose of this program is, and this is actually building the bridges. Okay, bridges to. So that's a part which we are doing. I congratulate everyone. So thank you very much. Thank you for inviting me to be part of it. We are much honored, and I wish everyone the very best. Thank you. Have a good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. for your enriching thoughts and wishes. We will now have a prayer song from the Baha'i Faith.
Ya Ilahi, Ya Raja'i, Ya Baha'i, Ya Sana'i, Ya Mahbubi, Ya Maqsudi, Ya Matlubi, Ya Ma'budi, Ya Ma'budi. From the sweet scented streams of thine eternity, give me to drink. Oh my God, Ya Ilahi.
That was serene indeed. I take pleasure in introducing our guest of honor for the evening, Mr. Nicholas J. Bridgewater. He is a practicing member of the Baha'i Faith, currently a postgraduate law student. Nicholas has a graduate LLB from the University of Law, Bristol campus, as well as a BA Honours in Middle Eastern Languages from the University of Manchester and an MA in Linguistics from the School of Oriental and African Studies, University of London. He has also taught English as a foreign language in both United Kingdom and Saudi Arabia. We welcome you, sir, to address the gathering.
Thank you very much, and thank you to Mayor Tom Aditya and the Chavara Cultural Centre. My name is Nicholas, and I'm currently living in Bristol, and I'm speaking in my personal capacity as a member of the Baha'i Faith. We do not have any clergy, any priests, any ulama in our religion. So each member of the Baha'i Faith has an individual duty to share the message of the Baha'i Faith and to teach the faith. So I'm speaking in that capacity as an individual member of the faith. So I'm going to be talking on the topic of promoting peace and harmony in the world, the role of the Baha'i Faith in promoting peace and harmony. So the Baha'i Faith, as some of you may know already, is founded on the principle of the unification of mankind, which we believe is the most essential and urgent goal for mankind to achieve in this era. It is not an unrealistic goal, we believe. Rather, it is an inevitable next step in human development and the evolution of human society. Baha'u'llah, the founder of the Baha'i Faith, taught that all mankind are one people and that the earth is one common homeland for mankind. He wrote, "The great being saith, O well-beloved ones, the tabernacle of unity hath been raised. Regard ye not one another as strangers. Ye are the fruits of one tree and the leaves of one branch. We cherish the hope that the light of justice may shine upon the world and sanctify it from tyranny. If the ruler, the symbols of the power of God, exalted be his glory, arise and resolve to dedicate themselves to whatever will promote the highest interests of the whole of humanity, the reign of justice will assuredly be established amongst the children of men, and the effulgence of its light will envelop the whole earth. So human society has for thousands of years engaged in bloodshed and conflict and warfare, but Baha'is believe that the time for that has now ended, and we need to seek a better way. As Abdul Baha, the son of Baha'u'llah and his appointed successor, wrote, "For thousands of years, we have had bloodshed and strife. It is enough. It is sufficient. Now is the time to associate together in love and harmony. For thousands of years, we have tried the sword and warfare. Let mankind for a time at least live in peace. Review history and consider how much savagery, how much bloodshed and battle the world has witnessed. It has been either religious warfare, political warfare, or some other clash of human interests. The world of humanity has never enjoyed the blessing of universal peace. God has created us all human, and all countries of the world are parts of the same globe. We are all his servants. He is kind and just to all. Why should we be unkind and unjust to each other? He provides for all. Why should we deprive one another? He protects and preserves all. Why should we kill our fellow creatures?" So how do Baha'is envision this happening? There have to be some practical steps to achieve this. And the vision that we are aiming for, according to Shoghi Effendi, who was the guardian of the Baha'i faith, is as follows. He writes, "The unity of the human race, as envisaged by Baha'u'llah, implies the establishment of a world commonwealth in which all nations, races, creeds, and classes are closely and permanently united, and in which the autonomy of its state members and the personal freedom and initiative of the individuals that compose them are definitely and completely safeguarded. A world federal system ruling the whole earth and exercising unchallengeable authority over its unimaginably vast resources, blending and embodying the ideals of both the East and the West, liberated from the curse of war and its miseries, and bent on the exploitation of all the available sources of energy on the surface of the planet. A system in which force is made the servant of justice, whose life is sustained by its universal recognition of one God and by its allegiance to one common revelation. Such is the goal towards which humanity, impelled by the unifying forces of life, is moving." So that's the vision as outlined, briefly outlined by Shoghi Effendi. Some of these elements of which he speaks already exist in an embryonic form. For example, the United Nations and its predecessor, the League of Nations. But both of these institutions have had their limitations. Nevertheless, at the level of the United Nations, the Baha'i international community has representation and engages in dialogue, including interfaith dialogue, to promote world unity, peace, and the Baha'i principles of religious harmony, racial amity and concord, justice and tolerance, the equality of men and women, and universal compulsory education. In addition, Baha'is around the world actively contribute to public discourse and engage in social action to aid in the welfare and progress of humanity. Many Baha'is mentor junior youth, adolescents between the ages of 11 and 14 to support their spiritual empowerment. Baha'is host prayer gatherings for people of any faith background in their community, teach children's classes that aid spiritual development, and host gatherings to discuss how to translate these principles into action that responds to humanity's needs. This relates to a quotation from Baha'u'llah, where he says, "Be anxiously concerned with the needs of the age ye live in, and center your deliberations on its exigencies and requirements." So we can each, we believe, contribute to unity and peace, and help develop our communities at a local level. Every individual's deeds can contribute to the betterment of themselves and those around them. As Baha'u'llah said, the purpose for which mortal men have from utter nothingness stepped into the realm of being is that they may work for the betterment of the world and live together in concord and harmony. The Universal House of Justice, which is the governing body of the Baha'i world, elaborated on this in a letter that was dated 30th of December 2021, where they said, referring to Baha'u'llah's teachings, they said, "He has revealed teachings that make this possible. Building a society that consciously pursues this collective purpose is the work of not only this generation, but of many generations to come. And Baha'u'llah's followers welcome all who labor alongside them in this undertaking. It means learning how to raise up vibrant, outward-looking communities. It means those communities learning how to bring about spiritual and material progress. It means learning how to contribute to the discourses that influence the direction of that progress. These areas of endeavor are naturally familiar ones. Seen from one perspective, they are quite distinct, each having its own characteristics and imperatives, yet they all represent ways of awakening the energies latent in the human soul and channeling them towards the betterment of society. Together, they are means of releasing what the Guardian describes as the society-building power of the faith. This inherent power, possessed by the cause of Baha'u'llah, is visible even in the fledgling efforts of a Baha'i community, learning to serve humanity and promote the word of God. And though that world society foreshadowed in his revelation is of course far distant, communities that are earnestly learning to apply his teachings to their social reality abound. How immensely blessed are those souls who, alive to the greatness of this day and the significance of their actions, strive for the emergence of a society shaped by the divine teachings. The revelation of Baha'u'llah is concerned with the transformation of both humanity's inner life and social environment. A letter written on behalf of Shoghi Effendi describes how the social environment provides the atmosphere in which souls can grow spiritually and reflect in full the light of God shining through the revelation. The contribution made by Baha'is is distinguished by its focus on building capacity for service. It is an approach founded on faith in the ability of a population to become the protagonists of their own development. So this is something which we can all contribute to from all faiths and all backgrounds. Thank you very much.
It's a wonderful deliberation, Nicholas. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, for your valuable thoughts on the unification of mankind in the Zira. We will now have a short music video from the Baha'i faith.
ای حضرت عبد
That was a splendid symphony. Now we will have a prayer song from Buddhism.
Namo Bhagavate Trilokiya Prativissistaya Buddhaya Bhagavate Tadiyata Om Vishuddhaya Vishuddhaya Asamassamasa Vasasparana Gati Gahana Sobhava Vishuddha Avisinjanto Mamshugata Varavachana Amerita Avisekai Mahamantra Pada Ahara Ahara Ayusam Dharani Sundaya Sundaya Gagana Vishuddha Ushnisha Vijaya Vishuddha Sahasrarasmi Samchodite Sarva Tathagata Avalokani Satparamita Paripurani Sarva Tathagata Matidasa Bhumi Pratishtite Sarva Tathagata Hridaya Adhishtana Adhishtita Mahamudre Vajrakaya Samhatana Vishuddhe Sarva Varana Apaya Durgati Pari Vishuddhe Prati Nirvartaya.
I take pleasure in introducing our guest of honor, Venerable Pasura Dantamano. He is a monastic member and serves as the Chief of International Relations Division at Wat Para Dhammakaya Temple, which currently has 101 international branches. He was introduced to Buddhism and meditation since early childhood. He has also lived a secular life before his monkhood, went to school and university, worked as a hotel manager at Max Hotel, as a flight attendant with Thai Airways International. Now, his vast experience in monastic life and his travel to more than 75 countries to share the knowledge of meditation and Buddhist philosophy. Also to note, he is teaching for the project Peace Revolution on a free online platform with members registered over 200 countries. His noteworthy contribution is emphasizing the way to live a full and happy life beyond the material world. Over to you, Venerable Dantamano.
Honorable guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to share with you today the concept of love, truth, justice, equality, and fraternity in Buddhism, and its role in promoting peace and harmony in the world. The term Buddha does not just refer to a person called Gautama Buddha as people usually understand. It is the state of attainment. It means awakening, purity, and enlightenment. It refers to a person who awakes from ignorance and impurity, realizes the ultimate truth. That truth is universal. It is not subjective to one belief. It is the reality of all matters. When the Buddha was enlightened, he realized something called the Four Noble Truths. 1. The existence of suffering in life. Anyone who is born into this world will definitely face various forms of sufferings in life. They can be suffering from sickness, aging, death, sorrow, lamentation, pain, grief, despair, not getting what is wanted, or separation from the loved one. No one is exempt from this truth. The only differences are the forms and intensity of suffering one faces. Therefore, every person in this world detest sufferings and long for happiness. They hold on to impermanent things and expect to have happiness from them. They struggle every day making money and buying their happiness. As a result, Buddhist view of humanity is that we are all the same. We all detest and share the same nature of sufferings. We all long for happiness, or at least the reduction of our pain. That makes us all equal. That makes us all brothers, sisters, and family who should be helping each other in suffering instead of imposing pain on one another. 2. The origin of sufferings is desire. The endless desire burning from fear of sufferings causes all of us to crave and to cling. We are always unsatisfied. We desire to have and not to have, to be and not to be. We are insatiable. It causes us to compete with each other, far greater beyond our needs and necessities. Sometimes that craving induces us to seek and fulfill physical pleasure while disregarding the pain and suffering we may inflict upon others. It makes us see only the differences in people. It makes us look at them as opponent, competitors, and enemy. It clouds us from seeing the reality that all human beings are equal. We are brothers and sisters who share the same nature of sufferings and hunger. It becomes easier to see ourselves as more superior than others. It gives us comfort and justifications that it is acceptable to treat others with discrimination, bias, and prejudice. It makes us feel okay to take advantage of others. 3. The cessation of sufferings comes from confining or renouncing craving and clinging. The preamble to the Constitution of UNESCO, which was founded on November 16, 1945, said, "Since wars begin in the minds of men, it is in the minds of men that the defenses of peace must be constructed." Desire, craving, and clinging in the minds drive us to the pursuit of illusional happiness, while we are simply trying to fulfill our physical pleasure. The Buddha said that physical pleasure is like a bottomless pit. It can never be full no matter how much we fill. We collect more than we need to consume. Our consumerist behavior is destroying this very planet. Climate change, global warming, and extreme weather conditions are the consequences of overconsumption behavior. In Buddhism, the true enemy festering humanity is the desire in every person's mind. Every individual task is to look inside, find inner peace, and renounce that desire. When the fog of illusion is gone, we can see the reality and treat others with love, empathy, and respect. 4. The path to the cessation of sufferings is the Eightfold Path. They are a stepping stone towards the cessation of sufferings. It begins with the right understanding. The transformation of our world's view and perspective will affect our action. Those views consist of realizing the importance of generosity and kindness. In Buddhist philosophy, there are two kinds of love. The first one is the burning passion that causes us to desire, to have, to take. The other one is compassion, which causes us to sympathize with others and want to help them out. Compassionate love can be achieved when we look inside ourselves and fill it with empathy. We begin to feel, to sense the pain of sufferings from others. That love will transcend our greed and selfishness. It motivates us to be charitable and kind. That makes the world a much better place. When we see others as we see ourselves, it is easier to treat them with respect and empathy without discrimination and prejudice. It is in my monastic code that a monk respects each other by the years of being a monk. No matter what the person's background is, the moment they became monks, the seniority begins from that. It is about how we should treat each other as equal while maintaining proper manners and etiquettes, which uphold the decency of humanity. Moreover, realizing that our actions matter is another important view we must manifest. We sow what we reap and reap what we sow. Every action bears fruit. Every act of kindness or selfishness is the seed for future outcomes. Peace is not a wishful thought. It is a committed and dedicated action a person strives for each day. It begins with transforming our will and putting the positive will of humanity into action. The foundation of Buddhism lies upon three simple acts. Avoid all bad deeds, strive in doing good deeds, and constantly purify our mind. It begins with putting ourselves in others' shoes. We don't kill or hurt someone just simply because we don't want to be hurt or killed, so we shouldn't do it to others. We don't steal from someone because we don't want anything stolen. We don't commit sexual misconduct simply because we love our family just like everybody else. We don't use abusive speech or tell lies because we want honesty and don't want to be hurt by someone's words. We don't consume intoxicants because we don't want to lose control of our minds. Moreover, we are treating others how we want to be treated. That's what we should be doing. We should be looking at others with kind eyes, speak with endearing words, and treat them with politeness. By realizing that every small action can shape a better society, we can continue to pursue it. Just like ripple, it expands from one person to the others. One of the most popular quotes of the Buddha is Nati Santi Parang Sukhang, which means there is no greater happiness than peace of mind. It refers to the state of calmness and tranquility. It is the mind which contains no trace of hatred, desire, greed, or prejudice. That kind of mind can only appear when inner peace is achieved. That kind of mind will lead to sustainable peace. The everlasting peace is full of kindness, compassion, generosity, and forgiveness. That peace begins from an individual level. Every religion has many forms of meditation, prayers, and ritual. All of them are about keeping the mind stand still within, discovering the true nature within us, which lead us to better society and a better world. Throughout history, peace is fragile. It is a temporary calmness after major conflicts, waiting for another eruption. Peace can never be achieved just by having treaties and conferences. It is a collective effort to transform ourselves. It is not just the end of the violence or international conflicts. It is a world in which everyone is kind, compassionate, respectful towards one another. It is built from one person to one family, neighborhood, and community. I believe that all religions are aiming to find the truth. It is the truth of the end of sufferings and the path to sustainable peace. The reality of peace can be achieved if all of us unite together as one, just as there is only one sun in the sky.
We thank you, Venerable, for your message on peace, harmony, and truth, enlightening us on the principles and teachings of Lord Buddha, making all of us equal in life on earth. I now take pleasure in introducing our guest of honor, Venerable Ananda Bhante, born in Belgaum district of Karnataka state in India. Venerable Ananda is the third son of Srimati Maitra and Sri Yuvaraj Nandana. From childhood, he had showed an inclination towards philosophical thinking and joined his father in meditation and spiritual discussions. An arts graduate in education and psychology, who is also studied Buddhist philosophy, psychology, ethics, and Pali language from his venerable guides. Also, carrying the precious teachings of the Buddha to the Western world. He engages in spiritual activities, projects, conducting meditation classes, social service, and service. At present, he is the General Secretary of Mahabodhi Society Bengaluru and sister organization, Chief Dhamma and Meditation Teacher at the Mahabodhi Meditation Center. Venerable Bhante, we invite you to address the forum. Welcome.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Very dear Father Robbie, and today Mayor Tom Adityaji, you inaugurated this wonderful webinar. Wonderful to see you and honored to be in this webinar with you. And Mr. Nicholas and our Bhante Pasura and all the panelists and Sharon and everybody. Very, very good evening to one and all, and thank you so much for involving me with this program. It's a great, great pleasure and privilege. This festival that is going on, week-long festival, and what we heard how this week-long festival was addressed and celebrated by so many different religious people. And today, the day 6th, really I congratulate you, Father Robbie, for organizing all this. This concept of love, truth, justice, equality, and fraternity in Baha'i faith and Buddhism that we are talking today, in promoting peace and harmony in the world. Lord Buddha was born 2,600 years ago. And yet the message he left is ever fresh, ever needed, because Lord Buddha was dealing with the very fundamental realities of life, which just now we heard from Venerable Pasura, the four truths. Suffering and the cause of suffering, we have to understand. Happiness and the cause of happiness. These are the four truths which, if we understand, can make our life much easier to come out of our problems. Today, let me quote from one of the sutras Lord Buddha has given. It is called Karaniya Metta Sutta. Karaniya Metta Sutta means the compassionate love that we need to spread throughout the universe. Now, in this sutta, sutra, in Pali we call it sutta, expression of love, how do you practice? That Lord Buddha explains. The compassionate love can come out of you, and you have to practice it in the form of becoming honest, upright, that is just, competent, that means efficient, gentle in speech, humble without being arrogant. And then, now if we look at them, we can see that though they seem to be like some kind of good behaviors, they are not just good behavior, but if you have true love to somebody, what do? You try to be as efficient, as competent as possible, and you do the works so that the other one is put into ease and not troubled. For example, if we don't clean up our table and chairs and other things, somebody maybe, you see, it is not good for others. But if we have love, then we clean it with full heart. If we have love, then we can cook very good, tasty food. So whenever there is compassionate love, we put more effort in our day-to-day skills, day-to-day works and duties. So love is not just feeling something in the heart, but it has to flow in our daily life activities through efficiency, skillfully managing, upright, just is heart of Buddhism, because if we are not just, then how do we arrive at truth? It's as simple as that. Truth and justice, they go together. Nyaya patipanno bhagavato savaka sangho. That means we have to become, we are trying to become savaka sangho, enlightened people, with our mind developed. Now this, to become that savaka sangha, nyaya patipanno, that is the path we have to establish. We have to be established on the path of justice. So now you can see these are all connected. Love, truth, justice, and equality. And further, Lord Buddha says, how do you practice further? A little bit more, in a more subtle ways. to be contented, satisfaction, overcoming our greed. So if we are satisfied, already we make so many people comfortable. And also, we are not troubling. If we are with a lot of demands, dissatisfied all the time, discontented all the time, then if we are children, then we are troubling our parents. If we are family people, we are troubling our family members. If we are like monastics, we'll be troubling our other brothers, monks, and the devotees. But if we are contented, mind is happy. Contentment is the greatest wealth. After all, having got all the wealth, what is that we achieve? Contentment. So develop contentment in daily life. That the Buddha says is the expression of compassionate love. Easy to support, not over busy. See how Lord Buddha said, don't become over busy. You have the limitations of your body, you have the limitations of your mind. You have to balance it. In the spirit and enthusiasm, we may put too much pressure to do many things, but Lord Buddha says, be very calm, peaceful. You see, the moment when the peace gets disturbed, at that time you must say, okay, that is the limit. If you can do peacefully 5 things, 6 things, 7 things, if you can do up to 10 things, go ahead, or even more. But when peace is disturbed, then you should know the limit. And then further, Lord Buddha says, tranquil in senses, eyes, ear, nose, tongue, body, these senses, all the time they are hooking to the objects, their respective objects, mostly with craving. So now, if we can have some level of tranquility with these senses, then mind is automatically peaceful. Now, this also means our reactions. If we are uncontrolled with our senses, sense desires, we put others into difficulty. So if we are loving, kind, just like mother, father, how do they go through even some difficulties? Just out of love for others. If they say, oh, we don't want this trouble, that trouble, then they cannot achieve. So, this is another very important. And then Lord Buddha says, keep developing the mind which says, Sukhi nova khemino hontu sabbe satta bhavantu sukhitattha. May all beings be secured, happy, sukhino, khemino, kshema, be secured. May all beings be happy. And then further he says, how do you spread? Eke chipana bhutatti tasava thavarava anavasesa digava ye mahantava majhimarasa kanuka anukathula. So Lord Buddha says, any creatures, let them be, whether they are without exception weak or strong, long or huge, middle size, short, minute, or bulky, may visible or invisible, living near or far, those who are born and those who are seeking birth, may all be happy. Okay? So these are the very practical ways Lord Buddha has asked. So if we have this kind of mind, then where is the question of inequality? Even one small ant, even one small insect, one small bird, what to talk of human beings and other beings. If we have this kind of loving kindness, then equality, fraternity are the natural outcome of our our loving kindness. So loving kindness, truth, justice, they are all connected. They are not separate. If you are loving, compassionate, then you are truthful. You are just, and fraternity and equality. So universal peace has to begin with peace within ourselves, understanding the deepest law, the law of cause and effect. If we produce unwholesome anger, hatred in our heart, that translates into action, thinking, speech, or action, physical action, and that translates into hurting somebody, and the result will end up suffering to ourselves and others. Suffering will come, the law of cause and effect. So also, if we want peace and happiness, it has to start again in our hearts. And when we express in our actions, it will bring happiness and peace to others. So this is a practice path. Lord Buddha calls it practice path. And he says, if you want to respect me, then you practice. That is the highest kind of practice. Yes, we respect with flowers, lights, and incense, and all these things. But Lord Buddha says, when you practice in your life and transform even a little bit, that is real respect or gratitude that you will be expressing. So, my dears, let us grow in goodness. Let us grow in peace. There is no need that we have to be in confusion and in state of in conflict within ourselves and with the outside world. All things which begin from us, let us start that peaceful mind in this very moment. Don't forget to observe few breaths when you go to sleep today, and don't forget to smile, wishing all beings, may all beings be happy and well. That is a wonderful thing, that contribution we can do. Once again, thanks to Father Robbie and Chavara Cultural Center and Sharon and all of you. And thanks to all the participants. May all beings be happy.
Thank you, Most Venerable Anandaji, for your wonderful, really motivating, insightful speech. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Honorable Bante, for briefing us on how to make our life easier in spite of the tribulations we face in life, and the compassionate love that needs to be spread across the universe in our day-to-day living and activities, thereby experiencing tranquility of the mind and soul. Now, we will have the charm dance, which is performed during the Buddhist festivals. That was amazing. We have amongst us young, vibrant, a team of panelists and moderator from St. Xavier's College, Patna, to discuss on the concepts of love, truth, justice, equality, and fraternity in Baha'i faith and Buddhism. Over to Dr. Kalpana Kumari to take forward the panel discussion. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you are.
Very much.
Can I share my screen?
Sanam, please check. Is it okay?
It is disabled, Father.
It's disabled.
Yeah. Or if you have, you can share. Can I share my screen?
One minute.
Yes, now I have got the option. Thank you so much.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes. The screen is visible to all?
Yes.
Thank you, Father. Namaste, good evening, and warm greetings to one and all from St. Xavier's College of Management and Technology, Patna. On behalf of our college, I, Kalpana Kumari, feel honored and privileged to be a part of this religious discourse on Interfaith Harmony Week, organized by Chavara Cultural Center, Delhi. We, the faculty members and students of St. Xavier's College of Management and Technology, not only spread the message of interreligious harmony, but also practice it. Each day of our college begins with a short morning prayer conducted from Sarva Dharma Samabhava Prarthanalaya. The prayer is inclusive in nature. Students from all religions are conducting prayer according to their faith and belief. Before the prayer session, we have a short meditation session, and that is what we practice in Buddhism as Vipassana. We also organize various activities under the stewardship of Xavier Kabir Club of our college to promote universal sisterhood and brotherhood, that is Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, in the society. So these are a few pictures of the activities organized by Xavier Kabir Club, paying tribute to late Prime Minister R. Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji, former President APJ Kalam ji, then Baba Sahab Bhimrao Ambedkar ji on the Mahaparinirvan Divas. Together as Xavier Parivar, we celebrate festivals of our country like Eid, Christmas, Deepavali, Lohari together. Students decorating Rangoli with different colors. Each class decorated one letter, interreligious harmony, with Rangoli with different colors and flowers. Students cleaning roads during Chhat festival for the devotees, a most popular festival of Bihar. A workshop on Vipassana, meditation. We greet each other in the morning by saying Namaste to each other and Khuda Hafiz at the time of departure. These words make us feel as a member of one family, irrespective of our religion. These are some of the initiatives to inculcate the value of inclusiveness and communal harmony among the members of Xavier Parivar. May I now invite Assistant Professor Mr. Abhishek Anand from Department of English to moderate the session with our young panelists. So over to Abhishek, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Kalpana ma'am, for a wonderful presentation. We really appreciate the initiatives taken by your college for promoting peace and harmony. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kalpana, for your kind introduction. Namaste, everyone. I'm really pleased and honored to be a part of this panel discussion on the various aspects of Buddhism, particularly for the reason that I was born in Bihar, which made a seminal contribution to the growth of Buddhism. Bihar's antiquity is evident from its name, which is derived from the ancient word vihara, which etymologically translates to monastery, that is, a place of learning. It is indeed a land of monasteries. Hindu, Buddhist, Jain, Muslim, and Sikh shrines abound in this ancient land. Among all Indian states, Bihar is the one most intimately linked to the Buddha's life, resulting in a trail of pilgrimages which have come to be known as the Buddhist circuit. The Buddhist trail begins at the capital city, Patna, where a noteworthy museum contains a collection of Hindu and Buddhist sculptures, as well as a terracotta urn said to contain the ashes of Lord Buddha. The Buddha spent 5 years at Rajgir, which was known as Rajgriha then, after having attained enlightenment, that is when he became Buddha, the enlightened one. And many of the remains at Rajgir commemorate various incidents related to life of Buddha. The hill of Gridhakuta being perhaps the most important, as this is where the Buddha delivered most of his sermons. Bodh Gaya is the spot where Lord Buddha attained enlightenment, with the Mahabodhi temple making the precise location. As we know, Buddhism is not a unified type of system or even religion, but it spread from India to many countries throughout Asia. And in each country, each civilization that it encountered, it was understood and adopted by that culture. And so we find very different brands of Buddhism around Asia. The Buddha lived and taught for about 45 years after his enlightenment, but he did not write down a single word of his teachings. No one during his lifetime put anything he said in writing. His original teachings were handed down from one generation to another by word of mouth. This continuing oral tradition was not put in writing until about 3 centuries after his death. By this time, the religion had already split into a number of schools, and each school set down the teachings as it understood them. Since the Buddha felt his teachings were for everyone and not just for the scholars or the intellectuals, he spoke in a language many people in India understood. That was Pali. In a country with a system of segregation based on caste, the Buddha's democratic views were a novelty and won him many followers. Since no one wrote down exactly what the Buddha said, all the Buddhist teachings began with a phrase, "Thus have I heard." Then they go on to tell what Buddha taught and believed. In Buddhism, there's no acceptance of a beginning of time or a creation. There's no creator, and everything is a little bit like it is described in science of conservation of matter and energy, neither created nor destroyed, only transformed. And everybody can discover the truth within themselves. It is not that you have to accept the authority of somebody else and just believe in that, but within oneself, one can discover the truth and reality. And based on this individuality, people will discover it and learn it in different ways. And because of that, there is a great diversity in Buddhism, methods of teachings, and it can fit very well with different societies and different cultures, which goes on to speak about the success of Buddhism in the contemporary world. So to talk about these aspects, we have a panel of young and fertile minds. I would now like to invite the first speaker, Kriti Kumari to present her views on a very important aspect of Buddhism, that is love. Over to you, Kriti.
Thank you, sir. Am I audible?
Yes, very much.
Okay. Okay. So, good evening, everyone. I am Kriti from Department of Commerce, and I'm delighted to have got this opportunity to share with you all the concept of love in Buddhism. The experience of love can be challenging, from passion and romance to pain and heartbreak. The ups and downs of intimate relationships can leave us all a little weary. But love need not be this way. There are other ways to think about and frame love in our minds and hearts. While hopeless romantics will describe love as the great ineffable, Buddhist philosophy provides us with a simple but profound definition. Love is a genuine concern for other person's well being and yet being able to set them free. Yes, Buddhism encourages independence through non attachment. Buddhists believe that in order to be fulfilled and happy in life, a person cannot be attached to any one thing because that thing can cause suffering. The idea of unconditional love is essentially what Buddhism teaches. Love that involves clinging, lust, confusion, grasping to self in Buddhist terms be seen as expression of bondage and limitation. Loving kindness, compassion, joy, and a particular form of equanimity are four divine states of love taught and encouraged in classic Buddhist teachings. None of these is extraordinary. They are all four qualities of heart that reside within all of us, at least as potentials. The first state of loving kindness is Maitri. The Buddhists do not use the word love, they use loving kindness, which means the capacity to offer happiness. If you're not able to help the other person be happy, that is not true love. You should train yourself to be able to offer happiness to yourself and to the other person. The second state of true love is compassion or karuna. Compassion is the kind of energy that can help remove suffering and help transform the suffering in yourself and the other person. If you cannot transform and take care of the suffering in you and in the other person, that is not true love. That is why karuna should be cultivated by all the people, romantic or not romantic, because that is not what is important. What is important is if it is true love or not. The third state of true love is mudita, that is joy. True love always brings joy to ourselves and to the one we love. If our love does not bring joy to both of us, it is not true love. Happiness relates to both body and mind, whereas joy relates primarily to our mind. Someone traveling in the deserts sees a stream of cool water and experiences joy. On drinking the water, he experiences happiness. The fourth state of true love is upekha, which means equanimity, non-attachment, non-discrimination, even-mindedness, or letting go. You climb the mountain to be able to look over the whole situation, not bound by one side or the other. Your love should not have attachment, discrimination, prejudice, or clinging. Buddhists have a whole new idea of love, which goes deeper than just a chemical reaction in your stomach. But their ideas of love will enhance your soul. Thank you.
Thank you, Kriti.
Very good.
Indeed, one cannot truly love someone by attempting to control them. Non-attachment is the service of independence and interdependence. The goal is not detachment or isolation, but but peace through release. I teach suffering, its origin, cessation, and path. That's all I teach, declared the Buddha 2600 years ago. Now I would like to invite the second panelist, Sam Matthew, to share his views on a very important Buddhist ideal, that is truth and fraternity. Sam, over to you.
Thank you, sir. I hope I'm audible. Okay. A very good evening to everyone. Buddha denotes one who has attained enlightenment and had a sense of awakening to build a peaceful, harmonious, and a just society. As we celebrate the World Interfaith Harmony Week 2022, we turn to Gautam Buddha, whose teachings have caught the imagination of people across the world over the past 2,500 years. His life and deeds contain such a powerful message that their resonance transcends cultures, religions, and geographies. His messages are becoming increasingly relevant in the present context and a guiding light for chalking out a sustainable approach for the future. The Buddha's method of introspection and awakening shows the path in these troubling times. At this juncture, the relevance of the concept of truth as practiced in Buddhism cannot be understated in a multi-religious society. The Four Noble Truths in Buddhism, as we know, are Dukkha, Samudaya, Nirodha, and Marga. Dukkha identifies the presence of suffering. Samudaya means desire or attachment and seeks to determine the cause of suffering. By desire, Buddhists refer to craving pleasure, material goods, and immortality, all of which are wants that cannot be satisfied. And as a result, desiring them can only bring suffering. Nirodha, the truth of the end of suffering, has dual meaning, suggesting either the end of suffering in this life on earth or in the spiritual life through achieving nirvana. Marga charts the method for attaining the end of suffering. The core of Buddhism, that is, the Noble Eightfold Path, appears to have been formulated to bring happiness and peace not only to the individuals of the society at large. When we also choose truth, we choose the right way. Next, I come to the concept of fraternity in Buddhism. Fraternity means we are all connected to each other, having empathy and calls for love between people. Once during a conversation with one of his disciples, Venerable Ananda, Lord Buddha counsels him that admirable friendship, admirable companionship, admirable camaraderie are actually the whole of the holy life. This famous statement, as proclaimed by Lord Buddha, stands in full support of the value of fraternity and shows the importance of fraternity in Buddhism. Further, fraternity in Buddhism is that humans treat each other as brothers because they believe that every human being is born of fraternity. According to Buddhist philosophy, all human beings are naturally selfish, and all negativities can be destroyed by practicing the virtues preached by Buddha, which will lead to a harmonious coexistence. The very essence of Buddhist fraternity can be very well be condensed in the famous recitation in Pali, which is Sangham Sharanam Gacchami, meaning I take refuge in the Sangha. In India, Buddha's philosophy of peace, self-sacrifice, kindness, and charity has influenced kings and leaders at various epochs. The declared foreign policy of India was based on Panchshil, a Buddhist term which allows for the possibility of peaceful coexistence between people of different ideologies. I conclude by quoting Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, who said, "I like the religion that teaches liberty, equality, and fraternity. We all know that he embraced Buddhism after significant deliberations. As we celebrate the World Interfaith Harmony Week, the Buddha's prism can be the guiding light in respect of truth and fraternity and in promoting peace and harmony in the world, which will strengthen the contemporary relevance of Vasudhaiva Kutumbaram, which means the world is one family. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much. It's wonderful.
Thank you, Sam. That was indeed informative. The Buddhist principles have influenced the legal system and the Constitution of India. Its values of non-violence, compassion, and social equality are reflected in judgments and have stood the test of time. To explore this aspect of Buddhism, I would now like to invite our next panelist, Kritanjali Arya. Over to you, Kritanjali.
Thank you, Abhishek sir. Good evening to everyone present here. I am Kritanjali from Department of Commerce, and I will be dealing the concept of justice in Buddhism. All beings are the owner of their karma. Whatever volitional action they do, good or evil, of those they shall become the heir by Lord Buddha. This means that we are responsible for our own actions and their consequence. The doer of an action experiences the result of an action and no one else. The concept of justice in Buddhism is represented by the equality of everyone to develop their wisdom. Specifically, being a socially backward person is not a hindrance in acquiring dharma in monk. The Buddhist is compelled by the structure of reality to seek justice, the unweaving of the karma, holding all in the suffering of desired existence, calls for the mastery of those seeking enlightenment. Buddhists believe that there is no fundamental difference between any human. Every individual is valued and be treated fairly and therefore with justice. Do you all know what Buddhists say about punishment? Buddhists do not believe in God who will punish those who commit sins. Instead, the Buddhists believe in karma, or the notion that every action has a consequence, holds that punishment comes as a natural result of hurtful acts. I would like to conclude by saying that don't take revenge, let karma do all the work. Thank you.
Thank you. That's good. That's great.
Thank you. Thank you, Kritanjali. Buddhism believes in equanimity, that is, upekha. This means an equal attitude towards one and all. Buddhists try to ensure that everyone is treated on an equal footing in the society. Buddhists believe that there is no fundamental difference between any human. Every individual is valued and should be treated fairly and therefore with justice. I would now like to request our next panelist, Alvia Rizvi, who is going to explore the concept of equality in Buddhism. Alvia Rizvi, over to you.
Thank you, sir. I am audible, sir?
Yeah.
Should a seeker not find a companion who is better or equal, let them resolutely pursue a solitary course. So, a very warm good evening to one and all present over here. This is Albia Rizvi from the Department of Computer Science, and it is an honor to be the member of this meeting. Lord Buddha, he was born in the society that knew the caste system. For Buddhists, the caste system is an example of discrimination, or we can also say that it is superstitious. That is something that they do not support. When the people discriminate their behavior, it reflects an ignorant attitude towards other people. It is believed that ignorance and craving cause people to suffer. That is known as dukkha. They believe in equanimity, that is upekha. This means equal attitude towards everyone. Buddhists believe that everyone should be treated equally because we all have Buddha nature. That is the ability to become enlightened. Once the enlightenment has been reached, there is no division at all. Buddhism equality is not fragmentary and sectional, but it is complete and universal. Secondly, as we know that the democracy is based on the value of equality, and Vaishali was the first republic in the world, it is said that Buddha has visited this place thrice and spent quite a long time here. The Buddha also delivered his last sermon and announced his nirvana here. However, it is said that the Vaishali is the second Buddhist council. Nirvana. Yes, what is it? Nirvana is the enlightenment and the freedom from the cycle of reincarnation that is available to everyone despite of their gender or the social status. And this is the reason that we refer Buddhism as the religion of equality. Lastly, we get to know that Buddha has shown through his path that humans striving from the purification, peace, and perfection need not have Godhead to inspire, but it is innate in human beings to strive for purity, peace, and perfection, irrespective of our different religious philosophies and ideologies. Thank you.
Good.
Very good.
Art, it is said, is standing with one hand extended into the universe and one hand extended into the world, and letting ourselves be a conduit for passing energy. Moving on to our last panelist for the day, Rajvi Prabhakar, who is going to share her ideas on the influence of art and culture in Buddhism. Over to you, Rajvi.
Thank you so much, sir. Namaste, everyone. My name is Rajvi Prabhakar, and I'm from the Department of Economics. It is an absolute pleasure to be a part of this wonderful session. And to take the discussion forward, I would like to touch upon how Buddhism has contributed to the fields of art and culture. But before I begin to unfold the rich culture of Buddhism, I really want to express how elated and grateful I feel when I realize that the Buddhist culture has found its roots on the Indian land. I mean, we don't just have to confine ourselves to reading about it or listening to it. We are so fortunate that we can experience it very easily. Buddha, that is, the enlightened one, has given this world a simple, beautiful, and a rational vision to see the world. And his teachings get reflected in the culture of Buddhism. Let us talk about the architecture. In Buddhism, there are mainly three forms of architecture: the chaityas, which are the places of worship, the viharas, which are the places of residence of the monks, and the stupas, which are built upon the relics of the Buddha and other Buddhist saints. The Chaitya at Kadla in Maharashtra is the largest one in India. And what to say of Ajanta and Ellora? The viharas there are exceptional and extraordinary. Some of the stupas which deserve to be mentioned are the stupa at Sachi, Sarnath, Amravati, Vidisha, Bharhut, etc. I mean, the list is very, very long. Later on, the sculptures of Buddha were being created by artists on two different lines of art, the Mathura school of art and the Gandhar school of art. Both of these art forms are distinctively rich and extremely beautiful. Moving on to the Buddhist literature, which is equally rich. It is widely known that the Buddha preached his followers and disciples orally, and his teachings got compiled by his disciples later on in the form of Pitakas. Pitak or Pitaka as we call it, it is a Pali word which means basket. So these were basically the baskets of knowledge, the baskets of wisdom, which we have inherited from the Buddha. The three Pitakas are the Sutta Pitaka, the Vinay Pitaka, and the Abhidhamma Pitaka. These are written in the Pali script, and Pali, as we know, is one of the important languages of the Buddhists. It is also interesting to know that the Pali language is still widely studied by linguists across the world in many universities. And when we talk about universities, let us not forget to mention one of the most ancient universities that the world has known, that is the Nalanda University. It was patronized by the Buddhists, and this clearly shows that the Buddhists were great patrons of learning and education. These were just a few of the immense contributions that Buddhism has made to the world of art and culture. Buddhist culture, in fact, it is a subject of research among historians, archaeologists, and scholars across the world. And for we people, it is a matter of joy as well as responsibility, because we have to preserve this rich heritage of ours, this rich culture of ours. Every piece of architecture and every piece of literature in Buddhism has a lot of beauty and a lot of meaning. So let us preserve it and make the most of it. With this, I would like to end. Thank you all and have a great day.
Thank you so much. It's beautiful, brilliantly written.
The main Buddhist values are love, wisdom, goodness, calmness, and self-control. Buddhism believes that people should try to end suffering. All things should be seen as having no self or essential nature. Nothing should be seen as literally existing or standing apart from all other things in self-sustained independence. On the contrary, all things should be seen as arising interdependently and as ultimately empty of any permanently abiding existence. Well, that brings us to the end of today's panel discussion. On behalf of St. Xavier's College of Management and Technology, I would like to thank all the attendees for their participation and patient hearing. I would also like to specifically thank Chawara Cultural Center, New Delhi, for allowing us this platform and having such an enriching and engaging experience. Thank you. Over to you, Sharon ma'am.
Thank you, Dr. Kalpana, the moderator, and all the young panelists for your valuable inferences in this panel discussion on Buddhism. The floor is now open for the participants' comments and feedback.
Can I just say a huge thank you to all the participants. Now, you could actually also, you covered a lot of subjects, especially on each topics. So well done, all the participants, the panelists, and also feel that we should also have I hope we'll hear more from the Baha'i faith tomorrow as well. So that's a great thing. And everyone, I was listening to it at full time. So big appreciation to all the panelists and participants. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
We have two speakers tomorrow for Baha'i faith also. And so that's why sorry, really sorry. See, we have two speakers tomorrow for Baha'i faith, other than that of discussions, because tomorrow we are discussing about Christianity and Baha'i faith. Tomorrow is the last day of this 1 week program, and I welcome all of you to participate tomorrow's programs also. And I would like to get a few comments from our Venerable Anand Banteji, and to bless these children for their wonderful performance. They have prepared very well, with Kalpana Kumari ma'am and our wonderful moderator. And the man behind all these wonderful performance is our Father Tom. And Father Tom is a principal, and tomorrow he is having the felicitation. And so thank you so much, Father Tom and Kalpana ma'am, and all the young, brilliant Turks from St. Xavier's, Patna. Anandji.
It was a really what I felt, with this young people, how they studied and made very good research, and so correctly they they highlighted the points. Some of them were quite profound philosophical points, and from every angle in this given short time. So I really congratulate all of you, and you are the ambassadors of peace and friendship in the world, and the future of the world lies in such people's hands. So I have full hope that with this Chavara Cultural Center and St. Xavier's College, and like that, so many others in India and abroad, this efforts for love and fraternity and peace will continue. My deepest thanks also, because I myself also learned few new things, even though I am monk for so many years. Our wonderful young people taught me some new things. So I'm very thankful to them, and to you, Father, and all your team, wonderful team, and Kalpanaji and everybody.
Your very presence is really a blessing. And gee, that's wonderful. And your smile and your joy, everything.
It's beautiful evening, beautiful evening. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And anyone else from any part of the world to comment or ask anything to our panelists or speakers? Or I appreciate the secretary to the Bristol Multi-Faith Forum, with Tripti to comment.
Hello, Father Robbie.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you for organizing this wonderful presentation. I have been attending all these events, and obviously it's sixth day. I really enjoyed it, and the panelists, they are excellent, especially the younger generation. They have a so good knowledge, and they researched well and presented it very well. I really appreciate, and it's a great presentation, as well as it's a great task organizing the presenters and panelists, and organizing this kind of international webinar. It's a hard work, and thanks to you and your team for this wonderful webinar. Thank you. And
Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I have noticed that you are attending from the very first day onwards. I hope that tomorrow also you and your team will be there with us.
Sure. I will. Yes.
It's really a great gesture of nobility, and we appreciate. And we all are busy people, but you found time for that. That's what I appreciate. Thank you so much. Anyone else? Priya Gupta, are you here to comment? Or Sister Jessie?
Of course, Father Robbie.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for organizing such a great evening, great event, and inviting such great personalities, speakers from all over the world. Thank you, Mayor Tom, for being our chief guest and for inaugurating this session. It's an unforgettable event in my life. Thank you.
Oh, most welcome. Thank you, dear sister.
Thank you, sister. Thank you. Thank you. It's a great honor for me to be part of this. Thank you.
We are really privileged to have such a wonderful people among us today.
And all of you actually done a good research. Okay, I was keeping mute because even Anchor Sharon actually doing a wonderful research on all these topics. So and the students when they are actually from a different region here, they're making a good research on each topics and presenting it. And thanks to the Baha'i faith, I hope to listen tomorrow as well. So yeah, it's a great honor. So we will be part of it. And best wishes. We want to take this message to our communities, to actually our group members, so that, and some of the messages from the panelists, as far Venerable Ananta already mentioned, this actually is sometimes new to us, even though sometimes it'll be refreshing for us. That would be great. Thank you. Thank you.
That's amazing.
Due to constraints of time, I'm actually, thank you. Thanks a lot. Okay. Over to you all.
Yes. Priya Gupta, do you like to comment?
Yes, sir. Actually, it was a very great enlightening session with you all, and all speakers was very eminent. I must say it was a very helpful for us and very great session. Very nice. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Priya. Priya is representing St. Stephen's College, Delhi. Thank you, Stephen. Thank you. Thank you, Priya. Anybody else from any other colleges or any places? If not, we will come to the final note. Sharon?
I deem it a great privilege to propose the vote of thanks. First and foremost, we owe our thanks to God Almighty for his abundant grace and mercy. I take pleasure in thanking Councillor Tom Aditya, Mayor of Bristol, Bradley-Stoke, UK, for his inaugural address. Our thanks to our guest of honor, Venerable Pasura Dantimano, Venerable Ananda Bante, and Mr. Nicholas J. Bridgewater for their inspiring thoughts and messages. Special thanks to the principal, Father Tom of St. Xavier's College of Management and Technology, Patna, and the convener, Dr. Kalpana Kumari, moderator, and all the young panelists of today's discussion. Our sincere thanks to all the principals, revered fathers, sisters, and all our well-wishers and friends from all parts of the world who participated in this day's program. I will be failing in my duty if I do not thank the pillar behind such an enlightening ecumenical event, Father Robbie Kananjara CMI, for uniting and binding us together in peace and harmony. A word of thanks to the technical team for their expertise. Thank you all once again, and a special thanks to all our participants for this days, for joining us in all these 6 days and making this event a grand success. Thank you again.
Thank you, my dear friends. And tomorrow, just once again to remind you to join us when we celebrate Christianity and Baha'i faith with the same values, the love, truth, justice, equality, and fraternity, and how it envisaged in Christianity and Baha'i faith. We have 2 speakers for Baha'i faith and few speakers. And since it's a concluding day, we have few representations from other religions also. So we expect the Deputy Secretary General of CBCI India to inaugurate the session and to preside over the session, the Vicar General of CMI Congregation, Reverend Dr. Josie Tamarshiri. And and we have many speakers and well-wishers to felicitate and tomorrow. So I welcome all of you to join us in this venture, not to put an end to the discussions tomorrow, but to have a new beginning to come together, as our Mayor Tomji said in the beginning, to realize the bonds which unite us are stronger than the barriers that separate us. Thank you so much, the peace-loving people. Let us be the carriers of peace and harmony in this world. God bless you all. Thank you. See you tomorrow.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Anandji. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, Nicholas ji, and thank you, Tom ji. It was a wonderful session. Kalpana ji, your regards to Father Tom.
Okay.
And tomorrow, welcome to all of you too. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes,
We
see you
have
tomorrow.
an announcement for the participants. A link would be shared in the chat box if you would like to receive a participation certificate for attending this webinar. Please fill in the Google form that is being shared in the chat box so that you will be able to receive a participation certificate for attending this webinar. The certificate would be sent to your email, or you can find it in your Google Drive. Please fill in the Google form link that is being shared in the chat box. May I request all of you to kindly rise up for the national anthem?
Jai Bharat.